The struggling U.S. newspaper industry is caught up in a costly trade dispute that is pushing up its production costs. Groundwood paper is used in newsprint production, and most of it comes from Canada. The Trump administration put a tariff on those imports because of concerns the paper was subsidized by the Canadian government and sold at below market prices. Tomorrow, the Commerce Department will announce whether it will end that tariff. We visited the New York Times printing plant in New York City. This is the stuff that is in the crosshairs of this debate on tariffs, this wood pulp.
Yes.
And it comes from Canada.
All of our newsprint comes from Canada.
Nearly 70% of newspapers in the U.S. rely on this, groundwood paper. Nick D'Andrea, the vice president of production at the New York Times, says the tariff has made printing on paper that much harder.
The newspapers have their own challenges already. Our job is to try to protect the revenue of the printed newspaper.
Ken Doctor, a news industry analyst, says the tariff is a blow to a print industry already in decline.
This is the kind of unexpected event that happens, and it takes an industry that may be hurting a little and makes it far worse.
As a result, small newsrooms have had to make tough choices, from laying off staff to cutting the number of pages they print.
And those tariffs have caused an increase in newsprint pricing of about 30 to 35%.
Beyond the tariffs, declining print readership overall has caused printing plants to make adjustments. At the New York Times printing plant in Queens, over 600,000 newspapers are rolled out every night, but not all copies are of the New York Times.
Capacity, and one of the things that we've done over the last couple of years is we try to bring more business in. So we've started printing USA Today here. Just recently we started printing Long Island Newsday here, and that's happening nationally, the consolidation.
So in response to declining print circulation, plants like yours are now printing for other newspapers, not just the Times.
Right.
In the last decade, weekday print newspaper circulation has dropped by over 30 million nationally.
The market for news and how people consume it has changed dramatically, particularly in the last 5 or 6 years.
In just 5 years as chief operating officer at the New York Times, Meredith Kopit-Levien has witnessed a 40% drop in subscribers to the Times daily print papers. It's called a newspaper.
Yeah.
But are we even going to have the paper part in 10 years?
The question is, will we have quality, original, independent journalism available to the masses in 10 years? And I think the answer is yes, but it requires that news organizations make digital experiences that are as addictive and unrivaled as the journalism itself.
Right. The Times readership is increasingly going digital. In just the last year, they've seen an increase of close to 1 million online subscribers. But not all papers have been able to pivot so successfully. Last week, the Daily News laid off half its staff, and in March, the Denver Post cut its newsroom by a third.
We are in a scary time for local journalism, and I think quality, original, independent journalism at the local level is like foundational to community, to society, and ultimately to democracy.
It's a very tough story for local papers right now,
sure
right?
Is.
There's the existential threat here in terms of digital, but there's also tariffs that we're going to be debating, I think, roundly in the next couple days. Those have made an already difficult industry that much harder.
All right.